At 58, Robert discovered he'd been withdrawing from his retirement accounts completely backwards for 3 years. That single mistake cost him $187,000 in unnecessary taxes and pushed his retirement date back by 4 years. But here's what really shocked me. 96% of retirees are making this exact same withdrawal sequence error, collectively losing $3.4 trillion according to recent studies. The difference between doing this right and wrong? It could mean having an extra $500,000 in your portfolio by age 85. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal the exact withdrawal sequence that saved Harry $472,000 over his retirement. Why pulling from your 401k first might be the worst decision you'll ever make. And the 3-account strategy that lets some retirees withdraw over $100,000 completely tax-free. Quick disclaimer: this is for educational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. Please consult professionals for personalized advice. What I'm sharing comes from analyzing thousands of retirement scenarios, but your situation is unique. Here's the harsh reality nobody talks about at retirement parties. When that final paycheck hits your account, you're suddenly faced with a decision that could potentially cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Harry learned this the hard way. For 35 years, Harry worked as an engineer, diligently saving into his 401k, building a modest taxable brokerage account, and even managing to put some money into a Roth IRA. By 62, he had accumulated $1.4 million spread across these accounts. Not bad, right? But here's where things went sideways. Like most people, Harry assumed the logical approach was to withdraw equally from each account, what professionals call the pro rata method. Makes sense on paper. Spread the withdrawals, spread the tax burden. Wrong. Dead wrong. See, Harry needed $72,000 annually to cover his expenses before Social Security kicked in. By withdrawing pro rata from all 3 accounts, he was unknowingly triggering massive tax consequences that would compound year after year. His traditional IRA withdrawals were taxed as ordinary income, potentially up to 37%. His taxable account gains faced capital gains tax. Only his Roth withdrawals came out clean. The real kicker? Harry didn't realize that by age 73, those required minimum distributions from his 401k would force him to withdraw even more, pushing him into higher tax brackets and causing up to 85% of his Social Security to become taxable. But here's what shocked me when I ran the numbers. The optimized strategy? Pull from the taxable account first, then the tax-deferred accounts like 401ks and traditional IRAs, and save the Roth IRA for last. This single change, just changing the order, nothing fancy, increased Harry's portfolio value by $472,000 over his retirement. Let me repeat that. Same accounts, same investments, same returns, just a different withdrawal order. Nearly $500,000 difference. But why does this work? Here's the part most people miss entirely. When you have no other income in early retirement, before Social Security and pensions kick in, you can withdraw from your taxable investment account and potentially pay 0 federal taxes on long-term capital gains. In 2025, a married couple can realize up to $96,700 in capital gains completely tax-free if they have no other income. Think about that. Harry had $500,000 in his taxable account with a $250,000 cost basis. That's $250,000 in gains. By strategically withdrawing from this account first, during those golden years between retirement and Social Security, he could access over $100,000 annually and potentially pay 0 in federal taxes. Meanwhile, his 401k and traditional IRA continued growing tax-deferred. And most importantly, his Roth IRA, that beautiful tax-free money machine, kept compounding untouched. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds too simple. There must be a catch. And you're right to be skeptical. The tax code is complex, and there are critical nuances that can make or break this strategy. First, let's talk about those required minimum distributions I mentioned. At age 73, the IRS forces you to start withdrawing from your tax-deferred retirement accounts. If you've let these accounts grow unchecked, these forced withdrawals can be massive, pushing you into higher tax brackets and triggering what I call the retirement tax torpedo. Harry's neighbor, Linda, learned this lesson painfully. She thought she was being smart by not touching her 401k until required. By age 73, her account had grown to $2.1 million. Her first RMD, over $79,000. Combined with her Social Security, she jumped from the 12% to the 24% tax bracket overnight. Worse, it caused her Medicare premiums to spike by $2,400 annually due to IRMAA surcharges. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a powerful strategy called Roth conversions that can defuse this tax bomb. Between ages 62 and 70, Harry had an 8-year window with relatively low income. During these years, he could strategically convert portions of his traditional IRA to his Roth IRA, paying taxes at lower brackets. Let me paint you a picture of exactly how this works year by year. Years 62 to 70, Harry withdraws exclusively from his taxable brokerage account. With no other income, he pays zero federal tax on up to $96,700 in capital gains. He also converts $30,000 annually from his traditional IRA to his Roth, staying within the 12% bracket. Years 70 to 75, Social Security kicks in. Harry continues drawing from his taxable account until it's depleted, then shifts to his tax-deferred accounts. The earlier Roth conversions have reduced his traditional IRA balance, keeping his RMDS manageable. Years 75 plus, with his taxable account exhausted and his 401k strategically reduced, Harry's tax burden remains low. His Roth IRA continues growing tax-free, available for large expenses or as a legacy for his children. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what if I need a large sum suddenly? What if the market crashes? What about state taxes? These are valid concerns. Let's address them. First, flexibility. The beauty of having multiple account types is optionality. If Harry needed $50,000 for a medical emergency, he could pull from his Roth IRA tax-free, rather than triggering a massive tax bill from his 401k. The strategy isn't rigid. It's a framework that adapts to life's curveballs. Second, market volatility. Some worry about depleting their taxable account during a downturn. Here's the thing. You're not selling everything at once. You're withdrawing what you need annually. Plus, in down markets, your capital gains are smaller, meaning even less tax impact. Harry could also shift temporarily to his tax-deferred accounts if needed, then resume the optimized strategy when markets recover. Third, state taxes. I've been focusing on federal taxes, but state taxes matter too. If you live in a high-tax state like California or New York, the benefits of this strategy multiply. Some retirees even consider moving to tax-friendly states like Florida or Nevada during their high withdrawal years. But here's the plot twist that changed everything for Harry. Remember the Social Security Fairness Act signed in January 2025? It eliminated the windfall elimination provision and government pension offset. Harry's wife, Sarah, had worked as a teacher with a state pension. Previously, her survivor benefits would have been reduced by 2/3 of her pension amount. With the repeal, Sarah suddenly qualified for an additional $1,500 monthly in survivor benefits, retroactive to January 2024. That's $27,000 in back payments plus $18,000 annually going forward. This unexpected windfall meant they could reduce their portfolio withdrawals, letting their investments grow even more. This highlights a critical point. Tax-efficient withdrawal strategies aren't just about the order of accounts. They're about understanding how all pieces of your retirement income puzzle fit together. Social Security optimization, pension decisions, Medicare planning, and yes, the sequence of withdrawals. Here's your action plan starting today. First, list all your retirement accounts and their current tax treatment. Second, calculate your gap, what you'll need beyond Social Security and pensions. Third, model different withdrawal sequences. Most importantly, don't wait until retirement to plan this. The earlier you understand these strategies, the more you can optimize your savings location today. Harry wishes he'd known this at 50, not 62. If you found this valuable, I'm posting a follow-up next week on the 5 Roth conversion mistakes that cost retirees millions. The third one alone could save you $50,000 in unnecessary taxes. Drop a comment below. What's your biggest concern about withdrawal strategies? Are you worried about RMDS? Confused about Roth conversions? Let me know and I'll address it in future videos. Remember, the difference between an optimized and unoptimized withdrawal strategy could potentially be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Don't be part of the 96% who get this wrong. Take control of your retirement income planning today and secure the financial independence you've worked decades to achieve. The choice is yours. Follow the crowd and potentially leave money on the table, or implement these wealth management strategies and maximize every dollar you've saved. Harry made his choice. What will yours be?